Alright, so now that I finally broke 70 minutes, we get to do this tutorial. And this mic is not actually mine, so I'll only be using it for this tutorial. I won't be using it for further streams until I can afford one for myself.
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can hear you!
Aye, aye, Captain!
Alright.
I'm going to use the layout just so you guys can skip around when this is uploaded to YouTube. You can see where we are. And I'm on the Xbox version, so I'll note this beforehand that the Xbox version is the fastest version of the game. The Xbox version is approximately 3 minutes faster than the GameCube, and the GameCube is 3 minutes faster than the PS2, according to Fuff. I haven't tested this myself, but I used to play on GameCube. I think that's about right. Maybe it's a bit longer. Not sure. But just get the Xbox version if you're very serious about doing this. At first, just play whatever version you own. And if you don't own any version, the Wii was a popular console, so I assume that most of you have it. Just soft mod it and download the game. Actually, don't not do that. I can't really tell you to do that because I didn't. Alright, do that if you have owned the game in the past or if you own the game currently. Because if you don't own the game, then it's illegal. But if you own the game, then it's cool. So that's just my advice. Do whatever you want because that's your responsibility. This is a disclaimer, okay? And also, when you have your capture card, you want to make sure that you sync up XSplit or whichever broadcasting program you're using to LiveSplit. LiveSplit is the split program that I'm using right here. You want to make sure that the delay matches the delay of the video, so when you hit the spacebar or whatever hotkey you use, it skips at the same time. So this is going to be a really slow run, but
yeah, Gary,
I'm not going for speed. I'm just trying to show you guys
we're
what to
in
do.
a doozy of a pickle. I think I'm going to have to learn a lot in order to fix this mess.
Dude, this game is a gem. It actually undersold on the Xbox by a lot. I think it sold mostly on the GameCube. I had it for PS2 when I was a kid. Alright, so now that you started, you're not going to worry, well, assuming that none of you have watched the stream before, because I have to assume that, assuming people watch it on YouTube later, we're just making a lot of assumptions. So, you're not going to worry about the closet, you're going to worry about, actually, this is the closet, sorry. This is the closet, so you're going to worry about the closet, you want to get in there. So, if you circumnavigate this room here, and just pick up every shiny object, then jump here to get this final one, you'll have 50 to get into the room. And also, we're assuming that everybody who's watching this now has already played this game casually, so they understand all the terminology like shiny objects, golden spatulas, I don't know what else. But you get the idea. There's a lot of buffering in this game, so when you walk up to a sign, you can actually buffer B or whatever it is on your console to cancel the script that comes up. This is a little bit faster. I've noticed that when you come out of the closet here, if you jump on this object on the wall and jump over this little part here, you can actually land in a part where you can trigger to open the door. So you can just buffer the trigger to open it quickly. Right there are just buffering inputs. You can go straight to Mr. Krabs. He'll just kind of drag you over here. This is just how I do it. If you hit all the major points and think that you find a faster method, go ahead. Like, question my methods because I'm clearly not perfect. Like, I'm not the best in the world. Probably won't be for a while, if so. So everything I'm doing, you can always question it and experiment for yourself to see if there's a better path to use. This is currently how I do it. You can skip this. Okay, I think I actually have the fastest method for clearing this level. So, I don't know exactly how many jumps, I guess we could find out by counting, but what I usually do is I jump once here. Also, when you're jumping, you have to make sure you jump high enough or it won't register as a jump, because I'm pretty sure that there's like a level, there's like some kind of a line, an invisible line that when you jump over it, it causes it to count as a jump. So sometimes if you short hop, it won't actually count it. I've experienced that before. So I jump once to get that part. Game volume's too high. Alright, I'll raise the mic volume. Let me know if that's better. Okay. So you jump once to get that area. You can jump again to get this area. I should have gotten that in one swipe, but I suck. So once you get that, you can jump once here, and once you land in the middle, you can swipe once to get all three. Jump twice to get this, and then you jump 4 times. 4th jump, you hit that, and 5th jump, you can swipe there. Oh yeah, GC has buffering, but it's a little bit different because the buttons are switched. So if you buffer an input, you can just like, sometimes you'll end up with a bubble swipe, and that takes more time. So yeah, in the beginning Xbox is better. I like that for Xbox, if you're buffering a skip, it actually does the bubble bowl sometimes, which causes you to go even farther. So yeah, Xbox Master Race. The final jump should give you the sock. Oh, I fucked up. Basically what should happen is you jump and Squidward, like it drags you from the sock to Squidward, and then you get the spatula and move on. Then you can just quickly just pause and warp to the first spatula in the level. Now what I usually do from this point, I know that some people immediately do the taxi skip where you disable the hand. We'll get into that later, but what I usually do is I turn to the right, and to get on top of Squidward's house you have to scale it, unlike the casual way where you activate the buttons and climb over Patrick's rock or whatever. So what we're going to do is, when you're coming in this direction, I usually line up, if you can see the middle parts that stick out of the torpedo, the little wings, you want to line them up so it becomes one, so you can see only 3 parts sticking out. So you jump here, double jump, and you can usually just scale the wall like that. But this angle usually works for me. I get it pretty consistently, so you're pretty much reacting to when you land to scale this. It might take you a few tries to get this. It isn't easy for people just starting out.
Now I can wear 4 pairs of
Get the underwear. You can jump on this balloon here and stall. Okay, so actually I forgot to mention that stalling in this game, you can air stall when you use the bubble wand. So you'll float for a little bit. That's pretty helpful. Even casually, it's pretty helpful. It just gives you a little bit more time in the air. So you jump off now. This next glitch that I'm about to perform, it disables the hand that grabs you when you walk out of bounds. So the purpose of this is like it lets you perform other exploits that are further into the run, and it generally just lets you get through the run faster if you can go through these parts without having to be pulled by the hand. But there is a disadvantage to it, that if you make a mistake, a lot of times, sometimes it would be more helpful if you get grabbed by the hand and it puts you back where the checkpoint was or whatever. But if you make a mistake, like if you fall out of bounds and you can't get back, you have to warp back to the spatula. I don't anticipate making any major mistakes in this because it's a tutorial run and I'm going slow as shit. So I'm just letting you know. You gotta be careful not to fall out of bounds in the parts that you don't want to be out of bounds. So what you do is you walk, or what I usually do is I walk into this corner here, across the line. And when SpongeBob begins his crawling animation, you have to turn the camera so he grabs it over the taxi, and you can just kind of buffer spam A until the hand grabs you. You'll hear the whistle to call the taxi, and that means that you pretty much activated this glitch. So the next time you do this, when the hand pulls you, I don't know why it didn't, I guess I wasn't close enough, but he was still in animation. When it pulls you over, you'll just skip right to Jellyfish Fields. But that isn't the purpose though. The purpose is to remove the hand that grabs you. So you remember casually there's that plane that drops the boards aboard when you pay for this area right here. Well, we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to skip here. I usually try to break these tikis and kill the robots here. Or not kill because they aren't living, but whatever. You destroy the robots, you get the tikis. And that usually helps if you miss a jump in the next segment for downtown. Sometimes you might not have enough shiny objects, especially when you're first starting out playing this game. So this helps give you a little boost in case you don't have enough. You can kind of scrape off the wall. I was just teaching a friend how to do this the other day. So when you're jumping here, you want to make sure you you jump through that little canal there when you do this. It helps a lot. When you jump off, there is actually a way to slide off of this wall and jump, so you only need to jump twice, but we're not going for a task level performance, so you can just kind of jump off twice, air stall, and you should get the spatula here. So you'll work to the beginning. You can actually pause to cancel the spatula animation and then just warp to the second spatula here. So the purpose of that is you get the spatula so you can warp to this area that was up here. So you basically just skip this entire area, just like having to walk around and pay for everything. So now that you've done that, there's actually a bit of a slant here. If you're able to get it, you can slide off and it makes you a little bit faster, ever so slightly. If you miss that, obviously don't restart the run, but that's just one of the things that I do. I think that 345 is possible for this segment, so I usually try to go for the very tedious glitches to make sure I can get as quickly as possible. And I often restart on my runs, so that gets annoying. What I just did there, I believe that doing it with this method where you slide off the side is faster than Fuff's method when he jumps from this platform here and grabs the ledge, because you have to go through the ledge animation. That's a pain. It takes a lot of time. I think this is faster. Don't get hit by this guy. You can actually just jump on the side here. You can pretty much see what I'm doing, so I'm not going to really explain it. When you get to here, try to walk off in this pointy area, like the straight line. You don't have to worry about being on the absolute edge of the rock, because jumping pretty much, you can be in the middle pretty much here and you can still make it as long as you air stall at the absolute highest height. I just missed it. So. Then you want to just kind of scale this wall. You can actually scale it in the other direction. I'm pretty sure Fuff does it that way. That's not the way I learned, so I guess I don't do it that way. So you just skip that whole area here. This next part coming up, you want to try to skip the dialogue that comes from the sign that you're about to see. So what I do is I try to stay off of the ground so I don't trigger the dialogue to come up. So you'll see that now. See that? You can actually jump at different heights with your single jump if you tap the A button or whatever it is for your console. You can just tap the jump button. If you hold it, you go higher. So what you want to do is you want to kind of tap it here when you go behind the Duplicatatron to activate the button that's hiding behind it. So you jump just ever so slightly and you can actually reach it. That'll just come with practice. And the reason why we're going to this area, this is extremely important. You want to enter this area so you get this spatula here so you can warp back to it later. Because when we acquire more exploits throughout the run, it'll be a lot faster if you complete this spatula after you get the cruise bubble. So from this point, we're done with Jellyfish Fields. We want to warp to Bikini Bottom with the fastest Jellyfish Fields segment ever recorded. Alright, there we go. And I usually try to activate the spacebar or whatever hotbar you use to switch the split. I try to do that as soon as I possibly can after I load. So it happens during the loading screen. You can just watch my runs for examples. It's pretty self-explanatory though.
Downtown Big.
Now this part, you may need to repeat this process however many times you need to figure it out. And get as many, sorry, I was reading chat. What I just said hardly made any sense. So, this part here is, the objective of this area is to get as many shiny objects as you can to activate the gate to the sea needle. And that requires 2100 shiny objects. You can usually get this if you do this area twice, but when I first started doing it, I did it like 3 times, just to make sure I had enough. So you may want to do that until you perfect it. And also, you'll get an idea of the pace of the cannon as you play it. You don't want to get hit by the cannon, or sometimes you'll get lucky and the cannon will hit the stack of tikis and blow it up for you, save you like a second or two. But that isn't really important. As long as you don't get hit and it doesn't mess up your flow, you're good. Also, this part, I believe that my game disc is a bit flawed. I actually can't get the maximum height with my bubble helmet as I should. So I'm buying a new disc to see if that's actually the issue, but I'll just explain how to do it and describe what should happen. And if your disc happens to be flawed too, I doubt it though. Or, I don't know, maybe I just suck. But if you can't do this, you can just do the method that I do. Okay. So you want to barely brush that tiki so you can jump onto here. This is all as quickly as possible, because you want to get the max combo, which is a super ultra mega monster combo in this game. If you played casually, you should already know that though.
You just met the Sponginator.
You have to hit all the buttons. You already know this. You can scale this wall, the statue, jump here. Also, in case you didn't figure this out, there's actually an exploit where if you short hop and you slam quickly over the button, you can activate the button before you finish your slamming animation. So you want to use that to go as quickly as possible. Then just warp back to the same spatula so the tikis spawn back, because you need more shiny objects. Just repeat the process here. Now, for me, I usually do the same process that you just watched to destroy these tikis again, but for anybody who has a fully functional version of the disc, you're just going to want to run up to these and hold the bubble helmet, because see how mine doesn't actually reach the maximum height. So I can't actually do that. So what you're going to want to do is do this process for these two tikis, and when you activate this one, you're going to want to jump on here and break that tiki stack as soon as you can, so you can get a combo for it. But I'm just going to go ahead and do it the way I have to do it because my game disc is flawed. It only loses me like 6 seconds, which isn't really that bad. There's another area when you need it toward the end of the run. It's actually at the very end of the run, but yeah, total probably loses me about 10 seconds throughout the run, so I'm not too concerned. It is a pain in the ass though. So what I usually do for this skip is I try to angle the camera, so I don't know, I kind of have a feel for it now. But I guess what you can do is line up the steering wheels. See the one, if you can see the one over there on the building, I guess you can line them up, and then jump at the absolute edge of this tiki to get the next one.
Bottom scavenger hunt, 3 years running. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's Andy. I think it's just like it isn't the Xbox version itself, but I think it's a different version of the Xbox version. Because like a lot of GameCube games and Xbox games were modified. Because there were no patches back then, so they just modified them as they were released. So if you play Melee, there are 3 different versions of Melee, and you can look under the disc to see which one you have. Standard is 1.02 though, that's a different conversation. You can hold A to get the maximum height for either of your jumps. So you want to do that just so you can grab it. And you can just scale this wall here. What I just did there, I kind of just jumped and I pushed toward the wall. You want to try to get as far as you can. Honestly, the best way for you to figure this out is just by feel, rather than from me telling you. But I'll try to be as descriptive as possible.
Somehow I don't think he needs a hand.
So you want to get this spinning bot in a position where you can get hit, and it'll taunt you as you get the wheel, and it's still in a position where you could jump on it and jump onto the lamp. So you'll see what I do.
Number 1 in the Bikini Bottom scavenger hunt.
So now I'm on the
3
lamp.
years running.
You can jump over here. Also, these objects that should be transparent, this is a glitch, a graphic glitch on the Xbox where they become solid. It doesn't affect your run. Actually, I think that when they become solid in downtown, it actually saves you lag. Because usually the game lags in downtown and some other areas on Xbox only when you emulate it on a 360. I forgot to mention that you should emulate it on a 360 when you're playing this. That's how it's fastest, pretty sure. And you just want to kind of jump this corner. Optimally, you don't want to grab the edge though. You can actually get around here without grabbing the edge. You can just kind of walk on. But that'll take some experimenting. You can just round this corner here. Make sure you go far to the right so you don't activate Bubble Buddy's speech.
It shines.
So as you're in the ball, you can actually just go straight to the sea needle, but you want to approach it from the left side so that way the prompt for buying the clam comes up when you're closest to the toll booth, so you'll see. You want to be on the left side so you don't have to walk all that distance. Then you just buffer the trigger to get in. Now, for the Tikis, you can find your own method for this, I guess. I'm not going to be going quickly, so they're not going to be lined up the way I usually do them, but basically there's a glitch or an exploit in this part where if you get stuck under the bottom of a Tiki, you get infinite jumps, or bungee jumps. So see how I got stuck and now I can do that without having to go all the way back up. There's actually a skip here where you can jump on the window. I don't usually do that though. I think that the small reward isn't worth the high risk. But you can try it if you want. Same method here. You just get this one, get stuck under this Tiki as it falls, and come back up. I don't actually have a full method for the next section of Tikis. Sometimes I get lucky. I'm not really good at this section at all. I'm actually really bad at this section, and I'm very inconsistent with the Tikis. That's where a lot of my runs lose time. If you want a good example, watch Fuff's records because he's really fast at it. Same method. I should have been able to scrape that one and activate it.
Too pretty. Can't take it.
Yeah. See how bad I am? My runs always depend on downtown. And if I don't screw up the dream because I'm bad. Alright, so you don't want to actually get hit by that. You want to kind of line this up so you can hit both the button and the robot. I fucked it up, but you're supposed to get all three at once.
Good.
Fastest downtown on record. Sorry if I'm taking too long to explain this. I just try to be as descriptive as possible because I want as little room for questions as possible just so everybody knows what they're doing. I don't want to say that I don't want questions because I do. As long as you guys had them, I'll answer them.
Here's another one.
I thought that part was pretty self-explanatory. You just want to get on top of here without having to grab the ledge. You can jump on here as well. You want to be as far forward as you can here for this next part and jump as high as possible and begin your glide. So basically what you're aiming for is there's this lasso hook on the other side of this tower that allows you to skip the entire Sandy's tutorial. So what you're going to do is just jump forward, scale the side of these walls, and just buffer your grab input to grab this. You can just float here, grab this sock. Make sure you aren't forgetting any of these things because it would be a pain in the ass for you to have to go back later. Jump on the tip of the cannon and then just float on to the spatula. We have a long way to go. Only 8 spatulas in. Try to walk along the edge of this wall because it's faster, obviously. This bus stop's a little weird, so what I usually do is just stand right in front of the pole and it lets me switch to SpongeBob. Because usually there's a larger area for you to be able to switch, but this one's really small, so you just kind of just walk right up to it and it works. I messed that up. You're supposed to get the faster exploit. when you jump onto here, you want to make sure that you perform your first jump quickly so you don't go too high, because there's an invisible wall above this little part. You can get the timing down, you'll figure it out eventually, but basically there's an invisible wall above this chimney, but you can jump under it if your jumps are timed correctly. There you go. I actually think this part is a lot of fun. I love swinging with Sandy. I think that Sandy's lasso is a bit underexplored, so hopefully we get to have more Sandy in the future. So if you just swing toward that little lasso grip there, you'll just skip to this cutscene and you'll appear on this building. Just wanted to explain that. You have to hit this to activate this plank.
There's another one.
I think this part is pretty self-explanatory, so I'll just kind of, go through it. And what I meant by hopefully seeing more Sandy in the future is I mean that maybe the path can be rerouted if more exploits are found to allow more Sandy in the run.
Not as good as Texas Park.
I can actually show you a bonus tech that I discovered that's a little bit slower if we get through this. Well, we will get through it when we get through it. So you actually can jump on the tar because his head is solid.
There's another one.
And usually I walk on this board of wood just to assure that I land on this next building without having to grab the ledge. You always want to try not to grab the ledge if you possibly can. So you can jump, grab this sock. This fence is also solid, so you can jump here. It's actually possible to get in here, this little hollow area, without having to grab. But I usually just grab it because it's a little bit safer. Then you can actually just use the slide to propel yourself here, grab the board, and you're on your way. And yeah, I'll show you the little skip that I found here earlier. It isn't really a skip because it's slower, but still. Yeah, it's working. Juke this guy out here. I usually get SpongeBob first before I go to the spatula, because I figure that if you go from that point to the bus stop and then back to this button here, it's a little bit slower. So I usually do it this way. Use your slam exploit.
Pushing a simple button is the most satisfying. Push, push,
Alright,
push,
cool.
push.
Alright, I want to show you this other exploit that I found. Even though it isn't really part of the run. Just kind of a bonus. So now that I already did that skip, you can't really see it. I won't have a way of telling you whether it worked, but just kind of follow my steps, and you can do it for fun. Like if you're racing somebody, you can just style on them this way. If you go far enough to the left here, you actually won't activate the cutscene. All right, I messed that up because I'm not sure how far left it is.
Is your phone not working?
Well, just for time's sake, it is possible to get around this. You can actually get around this without having to grab the ledge. I've done it a few times. But of course it's really slow, so I don't really practice it. You can just go around like this. You can also get on there without grabbing it as well. And sometimes, if the platform is too low, well, it isn't really anymore because I'm more optimized in this section, you can just kind of go over here and jump. Yeah, that's my dumb skip that I found. It's fun to do, though. Alright, let's go back to the lighthouse now. So you want to hit this first. Do this as quickly as possible because if you don't, the platforms change directions. You jump on here, this little wheel, use the helmet to give yourself momentum to grab the sock. It's just very procedural. You can kind of watch what I'm doing and see how to do it. Okay, I got lucky that time. You want to actually activate that so you get more shiny objects. Hit this. So the torpedo bot can actually spawn in 4 different spots, I believe. You're luckiest if it spawns in the spot that just happened here, which is good, just so I could show you guys what to do. Don't hit this button because you already got the song. Just grab the wheel. Whichever spot you land on with the torpedo bot, you want to get whichever object is closest to you. So if it spawns over here, you want to get the spatula first and then go to the wheel. Now that I got the spatula, I can just show you what else you can do to get that wheel if it's too hard for you when you're first starting off. You can also scale this, grab here. You can also grab this wooden board here, and you can turn around and jump to it because you have a better visual on it. But once you get good at it, you want to just not do that and do the first method that I showed you. So you warp back to here, this first level, after you complete the lighthouse. Take the spatula, and we move on to what I believe is the segment with the highest learning curve in the game. So good thing it's early. Oh, I just moved my layout. So now we're going to Goo Lagoon. So I actually figured this out when I was a kid, so I'm sure a lot of you did as well. But what you can actually do here is just not bash this platform and just jump straight here to walk on the ledge. Sometimes you'll grab it if you aren't optimal enough, which is fine. But what you really want to do is do it so you don't grab the ledge like that. Yeah, Fuff, I guess I can teach them how to do the laser route. But I think that the shiny objects for substitute just kind of goes without saying for people who can't complete certain paths. So when I started, I didn't really substitute anything. I just tried to get as good as I could with the optimal route, which is why I actually had a really fast rate of improvement. I didn't really sugarcoat it. I kind of just taught myself the optimal path. So here, this is called the damage boost skip that we're about to perform. There's one frame between SpongeBob's hurt animation and his floating animation after he takes hitstun that allows you to use a jump as if you were standing on the ground. So basically you get 3 jumps. So what I usually do here, some people actually just jump and try to get the first frame. I didn't get it there. They try to jump twice. But what I usually do for these damage boost skips is I get in a position where I know that I won't hit this tube when I come up in this direction. I jump off. I buffer the helmet button. I'm actually really bad at it. You'll see it eventually. I'm just hitting the helmet button as quickly as I can. Can't believe it's taking this long to get. There we go. Okay. See how that allowed me to jump on here. So you can get this sock. I really hope this can be routed out someday because I think it's really inconsistent. So there are a couple of ways that I know of to set this up where you can skip this whole trench area. This little water gap, not a trench. The way I personally do it though is I line it up. If you look closely, you can see how SpongeBob's foot has a little gap, his right foot at least. You can see there's a little gap between the both parts of his foot where his heel and his toes are. I usually line it up when I'm walking toward this tower to get that little gap lined up with the outermost edge of the red circle like this. And then I line the backmost and rightmost pole on this tower to the bus stop, the little pole in the back with the light. I line it up so none of the circle area on this bus stop shows, and you only get this little blue area, this light. I hope you can see this on YouTube when this is uploaded so the quality isn't diminished, but maybe you'll be able to, like that. Yeah, I know there's a sock behind the tower, the lighthouse in downtown. I just thought it was significantly slower than just trying to go for the skip, because you have to walk to it and then walk back. But I really want to work on routing out the sea needle because I think that would be a lot faster. Andy and I were trying to figure out a skip that involves using the bubble bowl to get the spatula behind the castle in Goo Lagoon. So maybe doing that and getting the chum bucket spatula early would let you get the cruise boost, and then we just add some other things into the run to make up for it. But anyway, you want to jump back as far as possible, just so you get the maximum distance when you get hit. And then once that happens, I want to jump as early as possible, and I'm going to land on the side of the tube, and I'm going to push. I'm going to naturally push into this pole, this tower. I'm not going to move my control stick after I take hitstun. I'm just going to let the game push it for me. So when I jump and I get hit and I land on the tube, you wait until you feel a little bit of a push, and then you use the bubble slam. And that should lock you onto the tower, and it'll push you to the island over there. Now, something to note, this is the method that works for me. It may work differently for some of you. I guess depending on which version you are, I'm not sure. There are a lot of variables because it's very precise. So you want to find your own method, really, because there are some zones on that island where if you land on it, you will die. You'll just slide down, you'll die. Sometimes what you can do is if you buffer the helmet input, you can actually shoot up before you fall into the water. I might not be able to show it to you unless I got unlucky, because I've been setting this up for a while and I've been getting it on my first try. So I'll show you how to do it now. You can just rewatch this segment if you need more help. There you go. So if you land back here, usually you die. If you land over here, usually you die. There's a little area that you can land on over here. Fuff sets it up differently where he lands over here. So you can watch his videos to kind of interpret how he does that. Just find a method that works for you. This part, I'm so bad at this part. I miss this all the time. And sometimes if you don't get high enough, you can actually slam into the pole on the right back there by the board, and you'll have to do it all over again. But there actually is a really weird skip where you can damage boost from the pole into the zone that sends you to the pier over there. So you can damage boost by like jumping here and using the helmet. But that's another damage boost input, and it's really inconsistent, so I don't go for it. I think this is faster and more reliable. So I usually just stand back here. I don't have a very scientific setup for this. I just kind of do it based on feel. I try not to hit this right pole when I shoot back up. So just kind of get a feel for it on your own. So you jump here. You jump twice, slam, and you'll be off. Hopefully I don't hit the pole. There you go. See, I'm so bad at this. I hit the pole. But if you hit the pole, you just want to come back. Yeah, I'm so bad at this one. Alright, there we go. We're off. Fuff, are you referring to the sock that's in the bungee tunnel? Because I'm not sure if that's fast. I'm trying to think of which sock. Maybe the one that's over the turning platform in the computer room, maybe? I'm not sure. I haven't played this game casually in a while, so I wouldn't remember. Did that really just happen? That's never happened to me before. Anyway, I'm terrible. So, this part's pretty self-explanatory. Sometimes you'll get lucky, and the hammer, the second hammer, you can actually hit it into this spot there, like that. But if not, you want to just slam onto it. But see, like with the one over the turning platform, you'd have to actually. What I'm talking about right now has nothing to do with Goo Lagoon. It's about the Mermalair. I'm just talking to Fuff in the chat. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube, the one in the Mermalair is like, wouldn't you have to go through another loading screen? You get that, and then you warp back to the spinning towers to skip the prawn. Or maybe you can just like, I don't know. Maybe you can get it after you hit all the buttons and do all the ball stuff. I forgot to mention, so what I just did there, you can rewatch it if you have to. I made sure that I activated the checkpoint on the platform, so I warp back there when I die. So then you do that and you get on the slide. Jump here, or whatever you want. Get the spatula. There's actually another version of the skip where if you jump once and you get the spatula, you can jump twice and automatically drown, which is a lot faster, but it's very unreliable. I don't have a setup for it yet, so there you go. For beginners, you can just kind of slam into the water to kill yourself, but what I usually do is I just... why is it not working? Alright, well, we're just going to slam, because I'm obviously a beginner. But what you can usually do is double wand into the water and it'll kill you. You can actually jump on this area because it's solid. You want to climb this to get the sock and use the slide to land on here because everything in this game is solid. Pretty much. Not literally everything, but I'm just, I'm exaggerating because it feels like everything is solid. When you're climbing these little these flags here, you want to make sure to land in the areas between the flags because they don't have as much of a sliding effect. If you land on the flags themselves, they'll slide you and then you'll fall. So see, just kind of follow my steps. So you want to grab onto these tubes. It's possible to get onto this tube without grabbing it, but I don't have a reliable setup for that. If you stand here, like in the little middle area here, that's between the crease in the white and I guess the red stripe on the right, you can line it up so the left side of this platform, kind of just set it up like this, where the bus stop is in the corner of the screen or like off the corner a little bit. You want to jump twice. This is actually a very hard skip to get on your first try. I was teaching my friend how to do this the other day, and it took him like a half an hour to get one. So what you want to do is you're going to jump twice at your maximum height, but after your second jump, like not at the same time, but immediately after, you want to push forward to grab this platform up here. And as you're jumping back, you want to hold the control stick down, but when you turn it in the other direction, you want to snap it upward. So, first you want to actually do a bubble helmet to gain momentum. So it's bubble helmet, and as you're in the process of doing the bubble helmet, you hold backward, jump twice at maximum height, but immediately after you activate your second jump, you push up. Don't circle your control stick around, push it directly up. Because if you circle it around, you won't grab it. You won't get the maximum distance. Alright. If you slide off the tube, that'll happen and you won't grab it. So you want to grab it. There you go. Alright. So now you're on the top here. What I usually do is I jump on this side thing here, jump out, and stall into the bungee hook to grab this. Then you want to pause and go to this spatula, slip and slide onto the pier. You want to do that as quickly as possible. I'm going to read what Fuff said in the chat. Huh. That's actually a lot faster. I actually might use that now. That's actually a really good skip. I'll show it to you guys later when we get to the Mermalair. So as you have Patrick, you want to jump into this box. You can jump the scat, you'll get dragged here. I usually wait for the spinning bot to get into that position. What you're trying to do is throw the Thunder Tiki into the tent that the robot's in. As you fall, so you drown and you skip the cutscene. But you have to make sure that the spinning bot isn't too close to the tent, or you'll throw it at the spinning bot and the tent won't break. So just kind of knowing what you know now, watch me. You kind of just roll off the side here and throw it. I actually messed this up in my previous run because I was so excited that I was at the pier, the second part of the pier, at like 4 minutes flat, and I was choking so hard. I was hitting the jump button instead of the throw button, so I just fell to my death and drowned. You walk back and you just give dispatch on.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Make sure you're hitting the throw button instead of the jump button. You can jump this gap here too. This stuff is pretty self-explanatory. I'll just kind of go through it for you.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Hit this hammer bot so it just doesn't mess with you when you're doing your next jump. You want to jump on the absolute edge of this platform in the corner here. You're aiming for this area here. Get the sock, activate the thunder. Jump on this side. You can actually just kind of roll off and get this next sock here. And then you're done with the section. Warp to Patrick. Shit. Alright, well. Alright, obviously we aren't saving this. But there you go. We are now on the Poseidon again. There's actually a weird skip where you can, if you jump over the ring of dirt soon enough and get close enough to the sandy robot, she'll jump early. I don't do this anymore because I think it's inconsistent, and there's a possibility that she swipes at you and then you lose time, but I'll just try to show it to you. Yeah, see, it's really dumb. I don't recommend doing it.
Looks like the robot's left itself.
I try to keep her in this corner with King Neptune.
Barrier Reef.
You'll see why later.
Now the robot's taking a beating out there.
Yeah, I couldn't get it. There are examples of my earlier runs. It might be easier to do on GameCube, actually. I try to keep her close to these ropes just so she jumps off them more quickly. So I turn here and she walks backward, grabs the rope, and you just jump over.
The old clothesline move.
Wait for her to come and slam on you. If you do it in that position, it should fall off and go in this direction toward the box. And you throw it in. Just keep repeating that process. Alright, Zombie Slayer, see you later. Watch the tutorial later just so you can know what you're doing. That was actually slow. I usually judge the speed by how many steps she has to take to get to the side.
Oh, nice flying, head thing move by Patrick.
That was terrible.
Wow, I've never seen such an electrifying match.
And just go back into this position and make it easier for yourself when you come back to SpongeBob. You can actually get behind her when she does this, and it won't deal you damage. You can do that for all of them, all the different sections. I just usually don't do it because sometimes it isn't. Sometimes I'm not lined up to do it, and it gives away my position here. So yeah, there you go. I find it easier just to jump through sometimes. Like this. When she goes like that, there's no chance you're gonna catch it, and you just jump through. It doesn't make you any faster. It's just kind of, you know, it's useful if she's there. You don't have to worry about being hit. I stand by her foot and then slam up here. I stand in front of her right foot. I just wait for the animation to start and I use it. Again, you can find your own timings, just whatever works for you, really. And this final one doesn't matter where you are. You can just kind of be wherever. As long as you don't get hit. Or you don't suck like me.
Hey.
You want to go right to the tree dome now. You can actually use the bubble bowl to skip into these places. It's a little bit faster, not substantially. Hit B, make sure you hit A here. If you hit B, you'll just walk outside and you have to go through some loading screens. You can actually just hit this here. Try not to destroy it at first. You can actually get next to the Thunder Tiki and hit that to activate. So now I have to break this again, it's a pain in the ass. Again, you can find your own methods for these parts. Skip to the Shady Shoal spatula. Now in this part, you just want to bubble bowl to get that button. You can bubble bowl in the opposite direction after as well to save yourself a little bit of time. But there's actually an exploit where if you jump on the sponge ball and you don't land on the ground, or if you're still in your crouch animation, when you get the sponge ball, you won't turn into it right away. So you can just kind of walk yourself on top of the police station without turning into the sponge ball to activate it in the little pipe you're going to use for this next part. So you're going to jump without landing. Up, you're going to jump. When you're in your crouching animation, he will not change into the sponge ball. So you want to get to the trampoline. Keep doing this without being in your crouching animation. Get into the corner here. Kind of line it up like this. Oh, that was terrible. It's kind of hard to do this when you're talking, or when I'm talking. You want to line it up so you slide off the ramp. You slide off the pipe like a ramp. Ah! You want to slide off like a ramp like this. If you hit B and then you immediately jump after, you can actually get 2 more jumps. You get your full jumps if you do that. If you break out and then you jump. So that's how you get on top of the chum bucket.
Wow, 6 pairs of underwear.
You just kind of watch what I do for this next part. You'll get it, figure it out. Activate this so it goes up and breaks the sleepy time on the other side. Bubble bowl, so you break everything there.
Smells like.
And then you can just warp to whatever spatula you want when that's finished in Bikini Bottom, and it'll just teleport you here to Invisible Mr. Krabs when you give you the spatula. This part coming up is my demon. I hate this part. I'm so bad at it. Once I get better at it, my times are gonna get so much better. Basically, you go to the dream here.
With sleep.
If you slide off the side here, it kind of slingshots you up. Now, my game is a little bit weird. I'm not sure if this happens for other people, but when the oil robot is out of my view, the sound of him blowing the bubble is not rendered. So what I usually do is I get hurt, like I take hitstun, so he stands in the same spot for a bit. So that way when I go to line up this next glitch or exploit, I can damage boost across to the next island. I know it's kind of hard for me explaining this well if you guys have no context of what I'm talking about, but you'll see and then I'll explain it. The way I line it up it may not necessarily work for you, but you can find a way to do it. But basically what I try to do is I try to get the maximum height of my jump while moving a little bit forward, and I slam on the oil bubble as it approaches me, and that allows me to slide off the edge that you'll see me slide on. Make sure you slide off the right edge, because that has I guess that works best because you don't get caught on it. There's like an invisible ledge you'll see, and it allows you to get the bubble helmet to work. I know this is all very confusing, but I'll show you how it works. Oh, or not. So you wait for him to get a little bit to the right, so you can line it up. I usually stand between these two rocks here, face this flat edge. So then you grab the ledge. If you do it well, you usually don't have to grab the ledge. Sometimes you'll just land on the platform. Also, I've been hit by this oil bubble before, and it's knocked me off. Make sure you don't try to get the spatula until the oil bubble is depleted, because that was a real pain in the ass. I had to restart the run. Go straight to Patrick's stream. Now this next part coming up, we're going to use the slide to boost us over the super bounce spatula and just get it for free. We're not going to pay for it. We aren't going to pay for it. I damage myself here so he taunts and I have enough time to get to the slide. Get the max distance. I'm terrible. Yeah, I'm terrible at this section, really. I don't have a reliable setup for that. I just kind of try to jump as late as possible and push into the block. I don't even remember the last time I missed that twice. You can just skip ahead, I guess. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can skip ahead. So when you get on that first block, you don't want to push forward right away. You'll hit the spikes and they'll launch you off. So you want to jump to your max height and then push forward so you land on. Use the hitstun to push you up. Yeah, you saw how to do it. You just jump off. Make sure you go here. This is the same concept as activating that one area in Jellyfish Fields before. You're saving this area for later, so you need to go to it. And then you just warp back to the dreamscape again. I thought I was doing the other skip, never mind. Well, anyway, you just want to go here. I'm a little bit out of it. I usually try to jump on the corner here to get the spatula. You need max height to get it. And once you got that, you can warp back to Bikini Bottom. Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to mention is you can use both analog sticks to scroll. That's how I'm scrolling so quickly. You can also use the D-pad, but I don't think that's very efficient. You can use both the look stick and the control stick. So you warp back to Shady Shoals. So what I do here, turn around to assure that I have enough shiny objects. Bubble Bowl, get that. I kind of just scale this to get the sock and I just jump off. Go right to the Mermalair. You have to hit this TV to get the sock here. Sometimes it takes more swipes than usual, but I guess I got lucky there. I only got one swipe. Grab the sock.
The king of non-contact sports.
If you bubble bowl here, it'll launch you forward just because the momentum carries. It's a little skip you can use. It's pretty easy to do. I don't usually hit this because it messes up my timing for the next exploit that I'm about to use. If you jump at the edge here, I usually do like this edge right here as I'm running. So I jump from there, max height, you grab this, get the spatula. Now if you happen to miss it, I haven't missed it in a while, but I guess like if you miss it, see how you missed it, alright, cool. You can still you don't have to warp back to the beginning, you can just kind of scale this wall as a backup plan. Grab this button.
The Mermalair.
I use the momentum of this platform to carry me forward here. Also, yeah, you can actually damage boost to get that sock, but we aren't going to do that in this run. I thought the sock was lower, which is why I said it was faster, but it might not actually be faster. We'll see. Guess I'll try it out. But for the sake of doing this run, we're not going to do that. This is just like a casual thing. You do this when you'd be playing as a kid. Just go through the motions here. That was dope. You want to pay for this clam first, just because you're in this area already. It's faster if you do it. And if you try to pay for it when you're holding the melon, then the melon will break and you gotta go back and grab it again, so. Now for the spinning tower section, you want to slam on the first and final buttons that you hit. So you slam on this one, use the melon for the other ones as quickly as possible, so you only have to use one. And you can slam here. I think that's the fastest way. Also, make sure you hit this button here. You do not want to forget this.
I wonder what this does.
If you walk onto the slide here, this is the next exploit, you can get caught in the side here and just kind of, it boosts your momentum. What we're trying to aim for is this little, see how the platform isn't down yet, to get to the prawn containment center. you can actually skip to it if you use the momentum of the slide. So you want to slide off and aim for that little light that's on the side. And if you jump on that, you can get your double jump, and you can skip this whole section. You'll see here. And you don't have to stay on it for that as long as I did. I usually stay on it for like 4 or 5 seconds whenever I do it. Maybe even 3. So you can rewatch that just to see where I was standing or where I went. But as long as you get on this strip and you run forward, you shouldn't take any damage. And then you just have to react to when he stops using his device. Bubble Bowl as quickly as possible. You can get the first 2 without taking hitstun, but the final one you'll usually take hitstun, and then you just throw another ball. You bowl another ball, and then you'll finish the boss. There's actually a skip for this boss if you have the cruise bubble, but we don't in this category, so there we go. Skip. Now, for Xbox version, you appear here in front of the spatula. Not sure about PlayStation, but for GameCube, you want to skip the cutscene as quickly as possible and hold outwards so you don't get trapped inside of the device over there. If you try this for yourself on GameCube, you'll see what I'm talking about, but that happened to me when I used to run the game on GameCube, and it's a lot slower. I just recommend getting it for Xbox if you really want to run this. The security tunnel skip. I hated this one when I first started running this game. Shit. Alright, well, sometimes you get a glitch where the hammer is invisible, which is a pain in the ass because you can't really line anything up. So, for the sake of the tutorial, I'm just going to reload that. That's a real pain in the ass, though. Can lose you a lot of time. Jump off the corner here to grab this edge here. You can grab this ledge too. Sometimes you'll get lucky enough to hit the spot where you don't have to grab the ledge and you can just go faster. But you want to helmet into this electric thing, jump onto that antenna, and then you can get on top of this place here. This button's a little buggy, so see how when I go on the side it doesn't really hit it? You have to be very precise with that one. Now, I actually recently discovered a new skip for this segment. So, there's actually an example ball that falls when you talk to Mr. Krabs. So instead of skipping his full dialogue, you want to talk to him for 2 of his dialogues and then skip. And you'll see the ball falls without having to hit the button under there. See? It's a lot faster. Then you just roll the ball to start your little process here. It makes the rolling ball stage so much faster. So that's a little education for Fuff, whose time is going to be even faster now because I just showed him that. But whatever. When I stand up here, I usually try to hit this little bot so he doesn't interfere with me when I do the little button. I hit that button to stop the hammer from coming. But you want to do that just so you don't ruin your run. When it hits the wall, stand in here for a bit, and then if you turn, it'll go in. You can always calibrate it to whatever you feel most comfortable with. Excuse me. This is probably the hardest segment casually, actually. This little ball section. You want to get this here. This sock and warp back. As a kid, a lot of people that I knew could not do this section. But it's very easy once you're introduced to all the actual difficult things that you have to do in this run. If you don't have enough shiny objects, you can just kind of grab that up there. I don't usually do that though, because in my path, I make sure that I have enough. I'm actually really bad at this. There, you can just get that if you really want it. And conveniently, this little gate here sends you back to the computer. You can grab the spatula here. Try not to walk forward, because if you walk forward, you'll activate the computer's dialogue. So you just want to roll the ball, and the spatula will appear. Now we go back to Shady Shoals. I guess I wasn't... Ah, shit. Alright, I messed that up. So we are currently on the Mermalair. No, we were currently on the Mermalair, and now we are on Sand Mountain. I guess anybody watching can really just see that for themselves, but you want to do this quickly as possible. If you do it correctly, I think they actually move while they're invisible. Like if you don't hit the button right away. But you want to try to jump on these blocks as quickly as possible. Yeah, to those who are watching this on YouTube, sorry for messing that up. This probably won't be the final tutorial that I make either.
Sand Mountain.
Hopefully we discover some new skips tonight, get to do a new route. Optimally, you want to hit the Sandman here and push forward before the cutscene starts so you can like slide across. I don't get that skip often. There's actually another skip here where you can skip the taxi animation if you get the max following speed and bubble ball into the taxi cab.
I'm gone.
You don't want to skip her talk because that starts the timer. You can bubble ball onto the slide if you're actually good, unlike me. That boosts your momentum. Jump on this path here. You can just kind of watch and learn for this part. I'll just stop talking. Don't do that. Don't get hit by the Tikis. I'm just bad. Basically, this whole section you're trying to build your shiny objects back. And there's a little skip here because this little mount is hollow. You can do that. Grab the sock. Alright, I'll stop talking. Actually, I lied because you need to make sure you get all these shiny objects here by breaking the Tikis.
There's nothing like the smell of bubbles in the morning. Smells like...
Grab this sock. That was a proper bubble boost on the slide. If you need it, you can get the underwear here. But if you don't need it, you can just go straight to this here off the slide. It's a little bit faster. You can hit this button here with the bubble ball as the thing is breaking if you time it correctly. Use the momentum from the ice to slide you back here. That would suck if I died. I don't think I've ever died on this section before. Sandy, make sure you get the stock down here. Now for this next part, if you jump on the torpedo and kick the wall and then jump again, you'll save yourself the animation of grabbing. So I'll just show it to you. Or not. Like that. It's a little bit faster, don't worry about it if you're just starting though. Just wanted to mention it for those of you who, I guess, already run this game and don't know about that. Jump here just so the torpedo bot doesn't notice you early enough. And then you can jump off and get that spatula. Then just warp to Patrick. talk to him twice so you get both spatulas for the socks. So one time I actually forgot one of those spatulas and it was a pain in the ass. I think one of my first runs. Again, warp to Shady Shoals for the final time in this run. Actually, that isn't true. You're going to warp there later for Rock Bottom. Final time before this boss. Bubble Bowl to get yourself close enough to this little toll booth here. And now we are fighting the Patrick boss in the industrial park.
Yikes! Looks
So you can
like
figure this out
SpongeBob's in a
for yourself,
rough
I guess, to
ride.
see which way works best for you. But I usually camp in this area over here. Your objective is to hit this Patrick boss as quickly as possible when he falls. So whatever you need to do that, just kind of feel it out for yourself. I actually discovered this a while ago. I was thinking about how the DVD player screensavers work, you know, back in the old days, and people actually use DVD players. If you stand here, it's very unlikely for him to actually hit you. So you can just kind of chill out. It's a little bit risky though, so I don't usually do it if I'm really far under on a run.
Look at that! The robot's made himself dizzy!
Because his
The robot better
little
change
slime balls
tactics
usually don't
and
hit you
fast.
when you're standing there. This is a funny little exploit. And he's come very close too. He's like been basically on top of me, but he still won't deal damage. It's kind of weird.
What is Sandy going to do to get SpongeBob
You
unfrozen?
can swing up here to get on top of the light. It's like 109. 109.52 maybe. I think 109.53. Responding to somebody in the room. Get hit by this little this vomit stream.
That hot goo could melt anything!
You want to make sure. Oh shit. You want to make sure that you're still grabbing these little ropes here. These little hooks. Because that's what activates the little boxes to fall.
Oh, and the robot is down!
You want to do this as quickly as possible, by the way. Obviously, because it's a speed run.
And
But, you
SpongeBob
know.
will be back in the ring. Oh, that's
It's very
devastating.
difficult to play this section consistently.
Do-si-do, and around you go!
So I just kind of like span this here so enough boxes fall. That time wasn't very close. This is going to be a tough one actually.
That's the ticket!
You just got to make sure that you land on one of these boxes or a solid object
That
after,
does
just
it.
so you don't drown. Because if you
SpongeBob is
drown,
back in the fight.
you're in trouble. You got to restart that whole section. You lose so much time from that. Now this is more of a reactive thing that I do. I stand here when he spins on this part because the conveyor belts are pointing in opposite directions and I can pretty much react to whichever way he's moving. And I have a pretty good speed boost for either side.
It looks like SpongeBob
See, that's
has
that time I
an opportunity
second guessed
here.
myself. I should have just went for it, but I didn't. So now I'm slow.
That's the ticket!
It's kind of hard. You have to predict where he's going to go. But as you play this section more, you'll get better at it. I haven't actually timed out how long it takes him to do each segment of that little spinning thing. I should do that, but I kind of do it based on feel, and it's worked out for me so far.
And the robot is down!
Oh shit, I almost drowned. Alright, I'm kind of running a risk by standing here, but sometimes it works out. If you're down on time and you're gonna lose time in this segment anyway, you might as well just go for it. Nah, see, I messed up.
It looks like SpongeBob
Bad
has
call.
an opportunity here.
Yeah, I think this spot is most optimal for predicting where he's gonna go. That's actually a little bit of a hard shot. I guess not. We're back to Shady Shoals for the absolute final time. Because now we're gonna go to rock bottom.
Welcome to the...
Oh, I'm glad I'm here too.
So now I have to explain cruise boosting because now we have the cruise bubble.
You don't quite have them all, SpongeBob.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So what some people do is they boost off of Mrs. Puff, or they boost off of the candy machine, or sometimes when I'm practicing I boost off of this rock here. So you want a flat object, a relatively flat object that you can kind of slide on if you walk on an angle, just a slight angle. The reason why this works is because the cruise bubble cancels the bubble bowl finishing animation, so it causes you to kind of just move forward at a faster pace. And you can get this sliding animation without moving to go as quickly as the fastest frame of the bubble bowl. It'll make more sense when I show you how it works. So for those of you who already watch, you've seen me do this, but basically what you want to do is walk into this wall and activate the bubble bowl and the cruise bubble on the same frame. And once you do that, you want to hold in the opposite direction in which you're sliding in and activate another one on the same frame after you finish your first one. And that'll cause you, if you do it correctly, it should cause you to get a fast cruise boost. So I'm going to walk forward. I do it on this side now. I can show you how to do it on the other side. I switched directions because I think that moving in this direction is more consistent, but you can experiment for yourself. So what I just did there, I just performed a cruise boost. So now I'm sliding around. It's a lot of fun for exploring levels, but we're using it for speed right now. You know you did it correctly if you cannot move backward. You can try to move backward, but you just can't. That's because the momentum is at max. So now you can perform all these weird things. You can use the bubble helmet and move. You can use the bubble helmet and then slam to get a little bit more distance. You can air stall. So there are a bunch of different applications for this that we'll use. That's cruise boosting for you. So you want to get this artwork here. Stop there. Now instead of finishing the whole level and getting to the end of the slide, you can just use the cruise bubble to hit this bubble here. Excuse me, hit the button. That activates the slide. And you want to cruise boost on here. Test, try to move backward to see if it's fast enough, and you're good to go. This is very important right here. You want to make sure that you talk to Bubble Buddy so you can warp to that spatula. Then you jump off the side here, use the slam, jump on the slide here, jump once maybe, so you can get the sock, because it's a pain in the ass if you have to turn around to get it. Run through this whole section here, grab the spatula. Then you just warp back to the beginning here. Not really the beginning, but the spatula that we just obtained by talking to Bubble Buddy. You go on a cruise boost again here. I wasted all my energy in that one run that I just did. Hold on, reading chat. Alright, so now we have a good cruise boost. We're gonna use the helmet to get on top of this rock, use it again, slam here. angle yourself so you can jump on this trampoline and skip that whole section with the spatula. Land before you actually get the spatula though, because if you don't land, sometimes the spinning animation here that's caused by zooming in for the spatula shot will not occur and you'll just slide off the ledge and die. So just land on the ground before you do that, don't go right into it. Jump back here, make sure you get this sock. Line yourself up so that you're facing the stack of tikis here, and then jump, or use the, use the bubble helmet when you're in the middle of this mound. So you land on top of it, this little stack of tikis here. Then you just want to jump to juke out the torpedo bot so you can get on top of the ledge. There's a lot at once, but just watch me do it. You shouldn't have to grab the ledge, I just grabbed it because I suck. Push the Sandy and we will go to the museum now. Climb this here. If you push against this little wall, this little rod here on the wall, you'll actually stand on it. Same thing here. Then you want to jump onto that that little turret that flies and shoots electric beams. It doesn't actually hurt you, so you can just jump here, get some shiny objects, grab the checkpoint. Wait for that tire to go through the laser wall, because when it goes through, that's your cue to jump and start gliding to it to grab it. You can rewatch that section if you need to see it again, but that's the reason why I wait when I do that. You can kind of run across the side here, activate this to get some shiny objects. Now over here, I wait for it to start swinging. I guess halfway through it's swinging in the opposite direction to jump, and then I just wait for it to latch on here. Alright, the reason why I failed that is because I was speaking and... Okay, excuses, but it's lined up properly when you go through this correctly at maximum speed. So that's why it's I guess I'm making this look harder than it actually is, but if you do it correctly, you don't actually fall off the tire. See how all the tires are lined up differently now because I was talking and I died and all that. You can watch one of my runs to see how it should be done. No, I can't do it. See, it's so much harder. Just make sure you get it on the first try because it just feels weird when you do it and you don't get it on the first try. Yeah, see? I'm so bad. I'm just gonna... I can't. Because you can't warp here and have Sandy. Alright, I'm gonna try not to scrub it up this time. Note that I never miss this on any of my actual runs. Alright, I think I got it. There you go. Grab the sock, the art. Make sure you don't forget any of these things because it'll really fuck you later if you don't. I mean, there are socks that you can get if you forget any of these socks, but as for the artwork, you can't replace that. The common thing is people forgetting to get this little picture here. Make sure you get that. Then you warp to the second spatula, slip sliding away.
Nice!
There's a little glitch here actually. There's an exploit where you can slide between the Tiki and it propels you. I don't usually do that during my runs though because I always fear that I might die for some reason and then I lose a lot of time. Doesn't save that much time, but just a weird little glitch that pushes you farther. Then warp to the Trench of Advanced Darkness.
Hey, Git.
Use the cruise bubble to destroy a Thunder Tiki to clear that area for you. Then we're going to cruise boost against here again. There we go. Okay. Just follow my lead. You don't have to turn when you jump here. You can kind of just jump forward and push to the side. You should get it. Here, you want to use the momentum of the pipe moving upward to get you onto this little object here. Make sure that you jump while it's moving upward or you probably won't get it. And sometimes if you land on the side here, the side of this area, like right here, you can use the bubble helmet to push yourself up a little bit farther. But just make sure that you use the bubble bowl when you get on top of it so you don't fall off, because you want to, because like if you don't use it, then you'll just fall off that object and you'll die. Cruise boost again here. That was a good one. Now we're going to jump the trench of advanced darkness. So jump twice, stall, slam. Now for this part here, sometimes the platform in the back won't be aligned correctly. What I usually do is I jump when this platform starts moving backwards, so I'm guaranteed not to miss it. So you'll see it's moving forward now, and now it's moving backward. And don't get hit by the tartar, because that's really annoying. You just die. Go back to the first area, not the first spatula, the third spatula. Now we are finished with rock bottom. Now, I actually do this a bit differently than, I guess, Fuff and everybody else does. Because of loading screen preference, or not loading screen, menu scrolling preferences, I like to go to Goo Lagoon first before I go to Jellyfish Fields and downtown. So you can do Goo Lagoon, downtown, and Jellyfish Fields in any order that you want, because it doesn't matter. You're fine. So yeah, you can do rock bottom, then Goo Lagoon, downtown, and then Jellyfish Fields. Or you can do Jellyfish Fields, downtown, then Goo Lagoon. I usually do it this way, so we're just going to do it this way for now. I took way too long to explain that. Alright, so now that we're back, you're going to walk to the edge here, use the cruise bubble. Hit this invisible button there. Then we're going to cruise boost on the side here. Just going to scale this wall, just follow my lead. Get the spatula, and if you do it correctly, you should drown, which will put you in front of the castle again. Jump in the box. You can turn around and activate the cruise bubble here, but sometimes I slide down the ledge when I'm doing that, and then it stops the animation. So I usually just, when I get out of the box, I just jump down here, and then I use the cruise bubble. You can pause after it hits and warp to the second spatula. Now for this next segment, you're going to try to, you can actually buffer a cruise bubble when you enter. So that way it comes out in the first possible frame, and then you use it to navigate and hit the button that you're about to see. I actually missed that twice in my PB run, and I was pretty frustrated because of that. Just means I get free time the next time I run it, though. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's the fastest way possible. Now that you finish that, you can go to Jellyfish Fields and warp to Patrick's Dilemma. So now we're back. Cruise boost on this box. Also, I recommend practicing cruise boosting on boxes because they're the easiest to do it on when you first start. If you jump, you actually get more momentum. Not momentum, but you get more speed while you're cruise boosting and on the slide. Make sure you get this sock. You get this sock too.
That was a ton of fun. I should do it again.
Make sure you don't go too close to the edge there, or you'll activate the cutscene and you'll drown. So just kind of follow my lead here.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy!
Patrick isn't even used here, you just kind of use him to get to the bus stop. You can skip these little notes if you jump like here. I'm bad at it because I don't really go for it during my runs. Now you can cruise boost on this sign, or I discovered you can also do it here. I think it's easier here, so I recommend doing it there. So yeah, we use that to get out of the map, and we can skip the entirety of the Jellyfish Caves. For this part, just rewatch the video to see where I grab the ledge. It's like on the left side here. You can just grab it. I messed that up. I drowned. You're supposed to scale off of the edge here. So you go over and land on this platform here, but I messed it up. So I gotta get another cruise boost. How did I get into running this game? I watched Andy's tasks that was shown to me by my brother. My brother discovered this, and then he showed me the tasks that Andy made, and I thought it was pretty cool, so I started running it. So you just jump through these parts here, jump off the edge, grab the spatula, turn the camera so you land on this wall here, this little gate. Now, I'm actually terrible at this part. I don't usually go for it during a run. You can only do this if you have a maximum cruise boost. You slide off the edge. I messed it up. If you mess it up, you can just go for the backup route like that. I'm going to try to do it until it works so I can just show you guys how to do it. There we go. Oh, shit. Well, you get the idea. You can just skip around that part. I'm terrible at it. Watch Fuff's videos. Probably give you a better idea. But if you die, you can cruise boost off the pole or the checkpoint, whatever you want. I find the checkpoints to give you the best boost, but they're a little bit more difficult to activate it on. Now you're going to jump down and cruise boost on this here. Also, I want to show you that you can also do it this way too. Whichever way is easier for you at first, do it that way. I'm just better at it the other direction now, so bear with me. Right, there we go. Yeah. I'm much better in the other direction. But you can do it either way, whichever way you want. Yeah, Fuff, you're actually right. It's probably a lot harder because my helmet height is short. So the skip that brings you around the gate is very difficult on my Xbox, I guess. So you actually want to save this fountain for last, or for final, really. Just so you're closer to the spatula. You can slam these guys before they actually spawn, as long as the ball is within reach. You can do that. And yeah, my bubble helmet is so messed up, dude. It doesn't go nearly as high as it should. That's why I'm trying to get a new game. Then you just want to skip to drain the lake spatula.
Well,
now you're going to cruise boost on the side here. Use the helmet. Now you're going to scale this wall. Just kind of follow my lead here. Now, for this part, there's a safe way of doing it and a harder way. For the safe way, you go all the way up here and you jump across like this. That's safer. But the pro way of doing it, which I usually don't go for, I usually do not go for this, but you can do it this way. As long as you don't activate the sign, because then if you activate it while you're doing it, you'll drown. There you go. Make sure you're running when you get this in that angle. Use that angle so you don't fall off the ledge, and then you just want to react and run this way. So now we have the cruise bubble, so we're just going to spam cruise bubble and beat this guy within a very small time frame. I didn't want to say a few seconds because it isn't a few seconds, it's more than a few seconds. Or greater than a few seconds. There's a sock under this little ramp here if you need it. If you forget a sock or you can't get a sock, you can always just get one there. That sock does not, well, I just want to remind you that sock does not replace any socks that you get before the Patrick Robot, because you need all those socks to get to the cruise bubble. Then you just warp to the beginning. Grab that spatula. Now you're going to go back to SpongeBob's dream. Cruise boost here. So this isn't going to be very fast because I didn't get it on my first try. But I'll show you what to do if you don't get your cruise boost on your first try. You kind of react to it. You get here. You jump here, whatever you have to do to get on these things. I'm so bad. I keep forgetting that that is not possible without another boost, but I'll try to get the optimal skip. This is how it should be done. Just refer to this whenever you're learning, because this is exactly what you want to do. As you play this section more and more, you'll find new ways to scale it, but that's what you want to shoot for, because that's the fastest possible way. As you play, like, you'll find ways to make up for time, or because the notes won't be aligned perfectly if you mess up on the cruise boost a couple of times. So that's how you really want to do it, though. Warp to super bounce when you're finished with that. Make sure you don't pay for that clam or you'll be in huge trouble, because then you have to get all those shiny objects back. Switch to SpongeBob, because at this point in the run, Sandy's basically useless. Cruise boost here. Now you want to try to slam, well, you want the fastest cruise boost possible, because this isn't max speed, it's like close to max speed but not quite. But you want the fastest cruise boost you can get. So when you're slamming, you'll float to that acorn over there to get the spatula. You'll see here, you want to try to position yourself so you slam and get stuck inside of this wheel. I usually face the little bar that rotates it. So if I slam into that, I usually get it. I'm still kind of bad at it though, so here we go. Yeah, see, I fell through. You want to end your slamming animation inside of the wheel. There you go. Activate these to get you some free shiny objects. I already have well over what I need because, you know, I'm not actually running. But, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Then you just float to here. You can just go to Mr. Krabs here. It's easier than scrolling up to Bikini Bottom. Now, you can just grab this sponge ball here. Bubble ball in. Now, the kelp forest usually takes so long to complete when you're playing casually, but it's so free when you're playing competitively. You'll see. So you cruise boost here. There's a little bit of frame drop, so it's a little harder on Xbox. Jump here. Now use this leaf to bounce you here, and now you have just skipped the entire kelp forest.
Try.
So now that you have the time up for Mermaid Man, you want to try to jump out as far as possible. Stall back in. I don't have a reliable setup for this, and as you can see, I just fell because I'm really bad. That's the main idea, though. Try not to fall. If you jump over here, you'll finish the time. And then you get a free spatula for doing absolutely nothing longer than anyone else. If you hold right when you enter this cave, you'll just walk right into the spatula. You just want to get it as quickly as possible. That wasn't even optimal. You can even get it faster than that. And you just skip to the kelp caves. Buffer a skip to end his dialogue. This section is so free. Now you want to aim to the right and use the cruise bubble to hit that little button down there by the freezy fruit. And get the spatula. Now that you're finished, you want to warp back to the Tiki spatula that you just got. Tiki roundup.
Well done.
Then you just continue playing the level backward. Now we go back to Mr. Krabs again. Walk behind the Krusty Krab. Grab this sock. Use the momentum from the dumpster to push you forward.
The graveyard.
Okay, I'll show you two different versions of the cruise boost here. Optimally, you want to boost in this area here, so you can jump on that stack of tikis and skip this whole area and get to that little place over there. If you aren't, I guess if you aren't good enough to do this skip, you can just boost on that ledge there. I'll show you how to do that as well. There are two ways of doing this. I know Fuff does his on this pole, but I like to use this chest. You angle it ever so slightly so you walk in this direction. If you get clipped or stuck between these little braces in the chest, you can boost to the left. Alright, so I have it now. So I'm going to jump on here. So that's one way of doing it. Now I'll show you the other way of doing it. Which is, I recommend doing it if it's your first run. Face this way, because if you face the other way you get a lot of frame drop. It's easier if you do it this way. Go around this so you don't get the cutscene for the oil robot. You jump here, juke out the robot. It's almost as fast. It's good if you're just starting. It isn't nearly as hard as doing it on the chest. There's a sock there if you need it. But we don't need it because we did the path properly, so we're just gonna... So the camera starts you this way when you finish, but I usually just turn my camera to do it this way, because I'm better at doing cruise boosting this way now. And like I said, I find it more consistent. If he's firing a torpedo, you can just go around the underside this way, but if not, you just want to jump straight through. Turn your camera this way, so that way when you get the spatula, you slide off into the edge here, because you don't want to die. Because you can actually do this now. You can jump on the trampoline here, face in the direction of the cliff, so you don't fall in the lava, obviously, or the goo, whatever this green shit is. Yeah, so now you're on the cliff, you can jump here. I guess we'll call it slime, that's appropriate. Jump on the rock to scale this, and make sure you're running toward the spatula when you get it, so you don't fly off the cliff. Now you can jump this way and enter this next part.
Ahoy there!
A lot of people try to cruise. Actually, that's a lie, because very few people run this game. But in tasks, the task bot actually boosts off of Squidward here in Andy's task. But you can just not worry about that if you don't want to go for it, and just jump straight off here. Grab this. Yeah, lag reduction strats. Yeah, on Xbox you have to worry about that because there's a lighting engine. It takes up a lot of memory. So you warp the shipwreck bungee after you do that. You should be able to do it in one jump. This has to be done as quickly as possible so you get the optimal skip. You can jump 3 times here, or thrice rather. Push against that. And if you do it correctly, you should be able to get there on time to reach that little platform that comes out. You can actually jump out here now to grab this. Again, that's you jump once at max height, you bubble while in stall, and then you jump again at max height. You should grab the ledge. Don't worry about the first time you run, unless you're just practicing. If you're timing yourself, just go around that way. It isn't that much slower. Now just boost off of here. Get under this thing and hit it so it doesn't hit you. Alright, that was actually terrible. That's the first time I've missed that in a while. I just missed it again. Alright, now it's in my head. Basically what you want to do is come up through here and hit this. Jesus. There we go. Okay. You can hit these buttons in whatever order you want, really. As long as it's fast. I tried to hit this button first, but I know that Fuff does it as his final button. But this is what I do. I come up like this. Jeez, I'm so bad today. Alright, I guess we aren't doing it that way. But you can see how you can do it. You can jump up here. Hit this button. Hit this next button. There we go. Alright, because, see, the reason why I usually get this one first is because when you cruise boost and then you get the spatula, it pushes you here, and then you can just do this to get this. Now, this skip is kind of weird. When you use this skip, or when you hit this button, it activates a cutscene that shows the lasers destroying the cannonballs. So therefore, you shouldn't be able to go to the Dutchman's ship for the fight, right? Well, actually, it activates the spatula so you can now warp to it. Doesn't make much sense, but I guess they didn't figure that people would try to warp to it. But whatever. We don't go there yet. We want to jump down here first. Grab that spatula. Now we warp to the Dutchman. This is a hard skip if you're just starting to learn the run, but now I think it's one of the easier exploits, now that I have experience. So you're going to switch to Sponge Drop because Sandy's useless now. Cruise boost. Make sure it's at max speed. You really need a max speed cruise boost to do this. You can complete that little segment there. If you now, it's kind of similar to the dream skip where you slide off the invisible ledge. There's an invisible ledge on the side of that little area I just came up on. So I'll show you again. If you slide off of it, you can use the bubble helmet while you're sliding off. Just like that. Now, I usually set this up. This is a little bit harder, but I find it more consistent. If you get yourself stuck here, see that little, this jagged edge that I'm looking at right now? You can jump on that. And then you end up here if you use the helmet and you slam. Fuff does it differently. You can look at his videos, see how he does it. Fuff also does this differently. I usually grab on this edge, and then I jump off, and I end up there. Okay, I messed up. You're actually supposed to skip the cutscene as quickly as possible, and if you do it correctly, you should end up next to the spatula. Now, if I demonstrate that skip again, I'm going to get soft locked, so I can't. So I will say that if you repeat exactly what I just did and aim for the smokestack all the way on the left of that ship, you should get it every time, as long as you jump once at full height and you use the bubble wand and you have max speed cruise boost. That should get you there every time. But I'll demonstrate what should have happened. So you should spawn right here when you finish. When you skip the cutscene as quickly as possible, you spawn here, turn around, get the spatula. Okay. So now you're finished with all that junk. You can finally warp to Patrick. Just make sure. There you go. By the way, you can hit B to skip his talk because it doesn't prompt you to keep your socks. Unlike when you talk to Mr. Krabs, it prompts you to keep your shiny objects instead of selling them to him. You can just hit B when you talk to Patrick. Now you warp to the chum bucket. But make sure you turn around and talk to Mr. Krabs first because you don't have enough spatulas to access the chum bucket lab.
So
here you have to actually spam A because you can't just skip that. He just says, alright, well I guess I'm not going to sell it to you. Now we're ready to complete the run. Now, this is another part that my game disc is fucked up on. Usually, if you have the max height for the bubble helmet, you can jump on the edge here, boost up, and you get the spatula. But my game disc is messed up, so I can't do that. So what I do instead, I just do the typical jump on the walls and grab it. Yeah, whatever. It isn't that much slower. But that skip is really easy if your game permits you to use it.
They don't serve love.
Alright, now we're ready to enter Plankton's lab.
Hey, Pat.
Hi.
And here we are, folks, the main event. A
You actually have invincibility frames if you use the cruise bubble as soon as you get out. That shouldn't usually happen. Alright, now you want to position yourself so you're lined up with this edge here. Alright. Now I will explain what just happened. So basically there's a trigger that's above the spawn platform. And if you use the robot smacking the platform, it propels you upward and you hit the trigger that ends the boss. So now I'm going to show you again. As soon as you get in, you want to aim here, forward, aim slightly down, forward. No matter which way he spins, you should be able to hit whichever trigger's there, or power button, whatever you want to call it. Alright, I messed up. Purposely, to show you this. If you mess up the first time, you can just do this. But remind yourself that it's on top of the first platform. So if you do the second platform, you need to push to the right so you land on the trigger. So again, you activate that by walking off of the ledge and jumping when he hits it. That's the basis of it. You can rewatch to see how it's done if you need it, and you can just experiment for yourself and see what works for you. Now we're ready to complete the run. You can bubble bowl this Duplicatatron, and the robot or the Duplicatatron will smack you off. There's a half chance that a Tartar will spawn on the left. So if it spawns a Tartar instead of the Hammerbot, the Duplicatatron will knock you off. But if the Hammerbot spawns, it'll knock you off. But anyway, that's basically the idea of the setup. If you hit the Duplicatatron, you're covering both your options, and therefore you'll fall. As you're falling, you want to hit that, and then you jump off down here, and then you just, you carry out your whole. Basically, as you learned as a kid, you just gotta hit these fuses. The soundtrack for this level is so sick. And finally, make sure that you have your hand on. Don't screw up. Don't try to fiddle with the spacebar or whatever hotkey you have to end the run as you're doing this. But once you feel like you're in a position where the bubble is going to hit, if you let it sit forward, you can then try to sync it up so you hit the hotkey and the fuse at the same time, so it ends the run. There you go. And there we have it. Gotta make sure I don't save these splits.